Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Danny Bears fresh off the boat. Hey, AfterBuzzers. Thank you so much for joining us for another after show for Fresh Off the Boat. This is episode 6, Fajita Man. I'm your host, June Lee, and you guys can follow me on Twitter and tweet at me during the show, ms_June Lee.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle. You can follow me on Twitter at _MichelleFee.
Yes, and please check out our youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, and you guys can also check us out on SoundCloud and on iTunes, and comment, tweet at us. You know, we love to hear from you. So, what did you think about this episode?
I thought this episode was really good.
So funny. I really like this episode.
I really enjoyed it too.
Yes, it's really interesting to see Eddie's growth. And I think before we were seeing a lot of Jessica's story and, you know, Lewis's story and everybody else's story, but now I kind of feel like, okay, this is where we're gonna start really like following Eddie and his journey. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So we open at the supermarket and Jessica, Emery, and Kevin, and they're all kind of just hanging out, and at first I was kind of like, oh, okay, like I didn't notice that they were like just hanging out by the freezer at the supermarket, and the worker finally comes over and is like, you guys can't loiter here, you guys need to go.
Well, for a second I thought they were hanging out because their mom was shopping, but it was in actuality because the AC, like they wanted the cool air.
That is so hilarious. That is just too funny. Yeah, I know, like there is, us Asians, we're frugal.
We are.
Yeah, we know how to make a penny go far.
Yes. Well, most of us. Not all. I can't speak for myself on that.
That's very true.
But
so Jessica is trying to find her job. You know, we found out a couple of episodes that she's totally bored out of her mind. She doesn't know what to do with herself. And she's like, oh, overqualified. No, like she's just like team player. Like that's not me.
She has very high expectations for herself.
Very high expectations.
I love that.
I know. I love that too. And I actually think that, you know, it's a characteristic that works for a realtor. You know, because you have to be a go-getter and you have to be tough and you have to be a good negotiator. So it kind of worked out for her. You know, she wound up finding the thing that fit her most, but at the same time, we get introduced to Eddie's dilemma. So there's a new video game out, Shaq Fu. I never heard of this game.
I don't think it's real.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I don't really follow video games, but it doesn't sound like something that is out there. You know what I mean?
I think I don't know. It's just so it's so out there that I think like it might have actually existed in the 90s.
We need to research this.
We do.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, it's tough because we watch it live and then we come right afterwards to tape it with you guys. So not a lot of time to research. Well, we'll research on that next time. Figure out if Shaq Fu is real.
We'll tweet about it.
Yeah, we'll tweet about it. So Eddie is, you know, thinks that, okay, my mom is really frugal, but she's gonna understand that I need this game. And of course, Jessica totally does not get it.
Which I can totally feel for him because, you know, so many times in my life when I was a child, I've been told no for things that I want. You know? So it's understandable that his mom reacted that way, but I just didn't understand why he didn't get that. You know?
I know.
Like the way his mom is.
Yeah, he should have known better.
He should have.
Well, I mean, at that age, I think you're always forever optimistic. You're always hopeful. You know?
Well, I mean, the worst someone can say is no, right?
That's true. That's very true. I also really liked how Jessica was like talking about like the chows and the you know, prominent families. I thought that was really interesting. What did you think about that?
What do you mean interesting? Like,
I just thought that it kind of, I think it kind of shows like what kind of things are occupying their minds, our parents' minds, you know, like it's not the Joneses, but it's the, you know, it's pretty specific to the Asian people, like very prominent family in China, very prominent family in Taiwan.
Or Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me. I don't know why. And was it Evan or Emery that went after the dog?
I can't remember.
I was like waiting for like a dog
honestly,
thing.
I feel like they look a little similar. Like they look like they could actually be real brothers in real life. So I couldn't really tell for a second there. Yeah.
I wonder if they get a dog.
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, I mean, maybe I haven't read the book. So
neither have I.
Spoilers,
I didn't finish it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like having a dog is a responsibility that not many parents really like, you know,
especially Asian parents, because they're kind of germophobic, you know.
Well, it's not only that, but it's more so who's really going to take care of the dog, and your mom is never going to want to take care of the dog.
Well, maybe Emery, he's kind of like a lovey-dovey kind of,
maybe,
you know.
I mean, he does love his little bunny, right? Or is that Kevin?
I think that's Evan. Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. Okay, never mind.
They're all E's. So I really liked how Eddie's friends all kind of went about the game in a different way. So one was like,
he's giving up his lunch money.
I know.
Or he's saving his lunch money.
That was so sweet and sad at the same time.
You gotta do what you gotta do if you want a game. I mean,
that's true.
Sometimes you just can't eat lunch.
And I really thought it was really cool when Danny, the one who wound up getting the 9 to 5 video game, like in playing Doralee. I really liked how when he found out, when he told everybody and Eddie at the lunch table that his mom in fact got him like this Doralee game. Yeah. Like, and he was like really disappointed. Eddie was like, "It's cool, man. It's cool. I feel you." Yeah. Even though he was kind of bragging, I really thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that he has friends.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's nice, and it seems like an actual like friendship. They're they're a group, you know,
and they're somewhat neighbors, or he's neighbors with Danny.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about Eddie becoming the fajita boy and then becoming the fajita man. Okay.
So I mean, it was like great development in just 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that storyline. And
I really did too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Lewis talks about, you know, his father, Eddie's grandfather, and how, you know, he was such a hard worker, and, you know, he really instilled in this, you know, you got to work hard, no handouts, you know, make everything for yourself kind of mentality. And of course, we circle back with that full circle, and, you know, it wasn't perfect, and, you know, his grandma kind of tells him about it. But so Eddie started out obviously kind of with a chip on his shoulder. He was like, I'm getting burned, I'm dropping plates, like, you don't want me here, I don't want to be here.
Right, and he was also expecting a better position.
Yeah,
which I feel like
bar scene was so funny.
It's like, my ears don't come free.
Exactly. That was so hilarious. So many like funny moments throughout this entire episode. Like Jessica taking the kids to the open house and to use their air conditioning. Just so many funny, clever things. But, you know, Eddie finally realizes that he's got to make the best of the situation. Yeah. And he really figures it out, you know, gets really that whole belt. Yeah. You know, so he has a water bottle to make the sizzles and, you know, really figures out how to do it and kind of finds a joy in it. Right. And Lewis gives him his weekly paycheck.
$18.
Yeah, and Eddie is super disappointed because like he worked really hard.
Right, but it was a good lesson for him because, you know, you can work really hard, but sometimes things just don't really pan out. Or
that's true.
Life gets in the way, i.e. him dropping all his plates and things like that.
Exactly. But I thought it was kind of harsh, and I'm really glad at the end, you know. So Eddie's like, okay, he becomes incredibly demotivated, right? Because he's putting in the effort, but there's no outcome. Right. It's actually like this like whole kind of like behavioral model around that. Like where you put in the effort and there has to be an outcome. And if that isn't there, then it kind of demotivates, you know, the employees. a little nerdy outbreak there, but
a lesson for all of you.
I can't help it sometimes. Like, I go to business school, so I nerd out sometimes. So Eddie decides to skip, you know, going to work.
I was really disappointed when he did that.
You were?
I kind of was expecting it, but at the same time, like, he really wanted that game, so I thought he would have put in more effort too.
Well, the thing was that he felt like he wasn't going to get the game even if he put in the effort.
Okay.
So that's what completely broke his motivation.
Right.
And that's why it's so important, you know, like, you know, when we talk to managers and stuff like that, like that it really does, you know, effort equals performance, you know,
right.
EPO model. But Lewis, you know, is like super angry, and his mom, of course, kind of talks him down, and it's like, you know, yeah, you're right, because like Lewis is like going on this rant, like Dad would have never allowed this to happen, right. You know, like. And I feel like that's kind of lenient too. I know that some Asian parents.
Same here. I thought it was very lenient.
Yeah, some Asian parents can get even more, you know.
Right.
Yeah, like the stick.
Oh yeah.
Is gonna come out.
And the broom.
Yeah, and the brooms and the belts and the you know what. But you know, his mom thankfully talks him down and kind of reminds him that, you know, his dad wasn't the nicest, or you know, his relationship with Lewis wasn't as good as it can be. Right. And she reminded him that he doesn't want to have that kind of relationship with his sons, you know? And it was such a beautiful moment when he went in and he's like, dude, ground me. All of my friends are going to be playing Shaq Fu anyways. Like, whatever. And you can totally tell, like, he's totally defeated, which is so sad. I hate to see anybody like that. Yeah, well, I really like enjoyed that scene too, and like you said, it was a great moment between him and his mom. But I also feel like it reflects a lot on, you know, families today and how they find the struggle between being a good parent, like how their parents raised them, but at the same time being, you know, also like modern own, like a modern parent, right? So it's like I totally understood that moment, and I get it, and it was great that he saw it too, you know. And I thought it was a little. Who do you mean, Lewis or Lewis? And I thought it was like kind of weird that he learned it a little early, you know, just because he's not really like the first generation to move to the United States, or is he considered first generation, or he's like an immigrant? I think so. Yeah, I think Eddie's parents, I think Lewis and Jessica, immigrated to DC. Right. And so they are first generation. Okay, so I feel like that's a little weird that he was like more lenient towards his kids. But I think they came very early on. I think they came when they were pretty young, and you can kind of tell because, you know, Lewis is kind of entrepreneurial, and you know, and the way they talk, and I feel like they've been in the States long enough. Right. I don't know. Like, that's my guess. Yeah, that's my guess. That's true. Yeah. But and also he wasn't just like, here's $50, you know? He was like, you know, think of it as a advance. Right. Early egg day. Right. Oh, wait. So that's this family specific, right? There's no such thing as like an egg day. Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah. Like I don't think there's anything like that. Yeah. You guys know what we're talking about. Grandpa got an egg, and he was super excited about this egg. And he worked hard for it. And he worked really hard for it. And Eddie was like, okay, so did he eat the egg or did he play with the egg? And Lewis is like, exactly. That's the big dilemma. And it just kind of goes to show how far, you know, this family has come. But so Eddie finally gets his $50 that he needs to get Shaq Fu. And he goes and gets the game, and he's disappointed. Or actually, he didn't even play it. No, he didn't play it. He like took what his dad said into consideration, even though he showed up 40 minutes late. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and he was like, "Dock me, baby." Yeah, that was the funniest thing. Eddie has so much personality, but more than personality, he has character. And I think everyone in this show has character. Yeah. Grandma. Oh my gosh, let's talk about Deidre. Let's talk about Jessica for a second. Okay. So how could I forget? So Jessica is like holding out the hose with the hot water coming out of it. Evan and Emery are like, Mom, the water is hot. She's like, it would be hot at Raging Waters too. Get over it.
It would be.
It probably would be. And she's right. There would be, you know, no Band-Aids from strangers and God knows what else.
Right. Gross stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know. And then Deidre comes over. And what does she say? She goes, that she's like something about the spirits.
She's like, she's washing out the spirits from their like ancestors because they've been disgraceful or something like that. I don't know where they come up with this
I know.
stuff,
Where does she
weird.
come up with these things? Like, that's so funny. We're gonna have Deidre in the studio soon, so we can ask her. Wait, is that coming from Eddie's real life, or was that just the writers being funny? I don't know, but it's it's so funny. Okay, so Jessica is sticking around the open house, right? And
keep in mind that she's gone from house to house to house. Like, she hasn't been to just one and hanging out there.
Is that what's going on? So she's not just hanging out in one.
Well, she got kicked out of the first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought she found her way back in there. I didn't realize. No, you're absolutely right. She's been house jumping.
Yes.
Loitering. House jump loitering.
Yes. You can call it house jump loitering. Yeah.
Yeah, house jump loitering. And Ashley is like, so like, get out of here.
Right. Well, she eventually let her stay because she was showing a couple.
Yes.
Ashley's house.
Yes. So let's talk about the gay couple. So Jessica gets kicked out of the second house, I believe, that we see her in. Yes. And she takes this gay couple with her. Because she overhears what they're kind of looking for. And she's like, oh, I have the perfect house. Like the Miller house would be perfect for you guys.
Right.
And at that moment, I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, I could tell where it was going to.
Yeah, because Jessica isn't lazy. She likes to be efficient and she likes to get things done. And, you know, anybody who has like a genuine kind of, you know, desire to help people and bring people value. I think we saw that when, you know, the furniture ad wasn't an ad. It was an ad. It wasn't an ad for employment anyways. It was an ad for like a coupon. And she was like 25% off, your biggest ticket.
Yeah, your biggest ticket at
yeah, this shows that you guys need my help. And I thought, wow, that's actually kind of very generous, you know, to kind of go and seek out a firm or, business that isn't doing well because you have expertise in that specific area. That was very generous of her.
Yeah, but I feel like also at the same time, she made an assumption that they weren't doing very well. Maybe they were just having a sale for the weekend.
But why would they have a sale on like their biggest ticket item? She had a good point.
Yeah, but mattresses go on sale all the time. It's not
That's
like they
true.
don't.
That's true.
Maybe they didn't go on sale that much back then.
Yeah.
They're on sale all the time now.
Yeah, that's true.
It could have been a special to just lure people in to
That's
buy
very
stuff.
true.
So.
Very true. Okay. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
But it could also be because she wanted to help out.
Yeah.
Or like she wanted a job.
I think it's kind of both. I think like personality in Sandra Oh's character in Grey's Anatomy was kind of the same way, where like she couldn't turn off her mind, she couldn't stop working. Like there's this kind of like efficiency mania almost. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. But she finally figures out what it is, and she comes in when the gang is all together, and she's like doing like this weird like dance.
She did the weirdest dance, and I was like,
I know, that was so funny. It was enduring though.
But it was Eddie's pimp dance or pimp walk?
Pimp dance. Pimp walk.
Pimp walk.
Pimp walk. Eddie's pimp walk. She's like, I'm doing Eddie's pimp walk. And everybody starts like doing the pimp walk with her, and she's like, put the AC on low, boys. Like, no, that AC
Finally.
is really true. I remember when I was younger and I was living in Korea. My aunt is very similar to Jessica. Like soup, and she actually ran a furniture store. How ironic! That's hilarious. That just occurred to me. But they would not let me. And in the summer, Korea is so hot and so humid.
I can imagine.
And I would go visit, during summer break, and they wouldn't use the freaking air conditioner.
Did they do the thing where they would put buckets of water around the house because the water is cool?
Yes. Oh my gosh!
Understand.
It was was
know
the
what you went through.
craziest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they would only use the air conditioner when like everybody was there. When the dad was there, when the mom was there, when the kids were there, and the grandma was there. Actually, it's a very similar kind of situation too.
Well, AC is expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that now living on our own.
Definitely.
So
yeah, I'm lucky though. My housemate covers like everything.
Oh, that's nice.
He's very sweet. Yeah, I have an amazing housemate. I'm very, very blessed. Yeah. Lucky me, but definitely can empathize with the kids with the whole air conditioning. And it must be hard for the grandma. But she's like, you guys think this is hot? You guys should have seen me and your grandpa dancing at a discotheque. That was hilarious. Let's see. Emma, are we missing anything?
I don't think so. I think we talked about everything. We just didn't really cover how the game was a disappointment.
Yeah.
The big shocker.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah, at the end, Eddie's like, okay, so how was the game? And they're like, oh, it loads really fast.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing that they hyped up this game. You know, Shaq was behind it, had everything they liked. Yeah. And it was a bummer.
I think it's metaphoric though for, you know, I don't know. I feel like there's a metaphor there. Yeah. And, you know, that you work so hard for the goal, but it's really not about the end destination.
It's about how you get there.
It's about the journey to get there.
Right.
And, you know, when Eddie is doing his thing at Cattleman's Ranch, you know, they cut to Lewis kind of looking at him and that joy of seeing a boy grow into a man. That's really what it's all about. And yeah, that's what the show is all about. So any predictions?
Ooh. Okay.
And now,
predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, I predict that now that Jessica is a realtor, it's going to be a lot harder than she thought it would be. Now that she has a license.
Right, because she has to get a license, right? Does she still have to go through that entire process, or was she being like serious? I feel
like you have to in order to like start making money. You have to get your license.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think she'll do fine when she has to like learn about it and stuff because she'll truly enjoy it. But I think once she gets there, it'll be a difficult journey just because selling houses isn't really that easy.
Yeah, you know? It's not. Yeah,
and yeah, I think she's going to struggle with it a little bit. Maybe give up, but then in the end, she'll
go back to it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. I definitely want to see Nicole coming into the picture soon.
I'm sure she will.
Yes. A little. We're not spoiling anything, but let's just say that we have some exciting things to look forward to at the studio in the coming weeks. Yeah, so news and gossip. Fresh Off the Boat is a huge hit. I mean, it beat Parks and Rec.
No.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
It's huge.
It's a really funny show.
It's a really funny show.
Really relatable.
Definitely. It's a hit.
It's great.
All right. That's it for today's episode. Please check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Tweet at us. Where can we find you, Michelle?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _MichelleFee.
And you guys can find me on Twitter, ms_JunLi. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.